I had wanted to make some modifications to my old tire bead breaker that was previously mounted on my workbench. But I needed a few other things, so the design I had in mind allowed me to build a cart. And then that cart led to a mobile workbench. And then it allowed me to get back to making the improvements on my bead breaker. What was driving that was this old yellow one you see here. I think it may have been made by Ken Tool, but there's no longer any names on it. I've had it about 20 years and I didn't get it fresh. The thing I had noticed is when they put the pivots on here, they had a pivot for the shovel and a pivot here for the arm. The 2 points did not line up vertically, they had them offset. Now I was watching the movement of the shovel one day, and through a range, it came down almost vertical, down onto the tire. Now that was something that was important to me, because if you allow it to come at an angle, you're going to push one way or the other. You'll push the tire either into the machine or push it back out of the machine. And I didn't want that. The previous bead breaker I had a, I don't know if you want to call it flaw or just a characteristic, but it did not have this arm here holding it. And without the arm, if you didn't get that shovel going straight down into the tire, you could kick it. The shovel could kick into the wheel, and some of those aluminum wheels are pretty expensive, so you don't want to damage them, or kick back the other way or shove the tire. So that became an area of concern. It worked, but always room for improvement. So the one I came up with is the one you see here. I do have the arm containing the shovel. It has a similar bend to the handle like the other one, because when you bring it all the way down, you need a little more clearance room. All this stuff, as you've seen in that pictures of the cart and the mobile workbench, this is all removable. And what I had done by modeling it on the bench using yardsticks was created the dimensions that I was able to get that shovel to track almost all the way down vertically. And so I don't, this is my one example where I don't have movement shoving the tire out or in. This retains this shovel so it can't possibly strike the wheel. In this case it's a steel wheel, so not too much concern, but the aluminum wheels I've worked on, I didn't want that to happen. What I'll do in the video is I'll show you the design as I went through it to get the proper dimensions. Demonstrate some other techniques, construction techniques that might be useful to someone out there building a similar tool. And then at the end of the video, I'll actually show this thing breaking this tire bead down. So it does work. There's always room for improvement, so I'll be looking to make a few of those in the future, but as it stands, this is a usable tool. This is the first time I got the bead breaker all assembled. Everything that's red or black that came from the previous bead breaker, the rest bare steel. That's what I'm working on now. It's gone now from modeling it with the yardsticks to the actual mechanism here. The thing what I'll do is I'll focus down on this, because this is, two things are important. I wanted this to go straight down as near as possible as I move the handle down, breaking the bead, and have this thing fairly level. So this one's a little different. This handle is fixed. It won't kick in or out. There'll be a plate on top of here and a rubber mat, so this will actually raise up a little more than a ½ inch. The holes I got in here are 2 inches apart. This hole here would put this shovel right on the surface, so I think I've got enough clearance that I'm not going to find a tire that won't fit underneath here. All right, we'll start now here. The distance from the square to the shovel here is about 1/8 of an inch. I don't know if that's very visible on the camera, but that's what it is. So, why don't you raise it up now? Just slowly go up. So go ahead. You can see as it comes up mid-range here, it's going to touch the square. And as you keep it going, it'll do it gradually come away from the square as we get further. You could go a little faster there. So we're 12 inches now, and that's about as high as I can go. I have to trim some of the metal brackets to get it to go further, but that should be enough. And I'm right on that point there. So this is largely going up and down, following the square here, plus or minus, 1/8 of an inch at most. Okay, bring it back down a little faster this time. Just watch the square, you don't hit it. Good. And this is the gap I'm referring to right there. This is a correction of you want to call it welding error or construction error. Both of these has an 1.5 inch square tube that has to fit in between here. That's the pivot point for the breaker bar assembly. The distance, inside distance here is 1.56 inches, and the one on this one here is 1.51 without paint. And this is measured with paint. This gives me enough room to get the square tube inside here, and it can pivot freely. This one here, I can't get it on the tube when it was painted. So what I'm going to do is, well, maybe back up a second. Both these were constructed the same way, but welded just a little bit differently. I've got these plates here around this 1.5 inch square tube, but in between here of each one of these plates is a 22 gauge steel shim that I cut, and I just welded it in place, and that gave me the extra clearance I needed. This one here, I allowed my weld to go down just a little bit to make this just a little bit stronger, I thought, while that in turn caused this here to come in a little bit and pinch a little bit. So what I'm going to do is take and run a bead on both sides right down here, and that should bring these things apart, if you will. When that cools, that weld will cause them to come in a little bit, and then they'll come back out as that metal shrinks. So this is before, and we'll see afterwards. I won't bore you with my welding techniques here. All right, I've put a heck of a well bead on that one on both sides. Probably a little more than I needed to, but I wanted to spread these out. I started with 1.51 inches measured from here to here. On this one, comparing it to the one here with paint on of 1.56 inches. Now what I have is, I don't know if that's sealable, but 1.59 inches now. So if I keep my paint in control and thickness, I should be able to get this thing on now. So, noticeable improvement. There's a lot of different new welds in here. Different parts below. Let's see if this thing can take my weight and not go anywhere. There we are. 220 pounds. And nothing's bending. That's good. So, I'll pull the air out of the tire and break the beads, hopefully. That should be pretty straightforward. All right, air is out. Well, that should. That's what it should have done. This side here was the closest to the drop center. Now, right to the side edge, furthest away. I do that one last because my tire machine clamps on the rim of the wheel here on this side here. So that's nice to get that one broken glass and push further away so the clamps have no trouble catching hold of the rim. All right. This wheel's off my utility trailer. Dump / utility, I guess. There we go. So, that should be what I would call a success.